Hi, I'm Michelle Yeoh, and this is how I got here. What was your first job? Actually, my first job was when I was in college and I was bartending. I felt it was good to go out and understand about getting paid, making money on my own. I was in college in Crewe and Alsager. I said, fortunately, it's a very small community and we all knew each other, so working there was not so difficult. But what I did enjoy was learning about all the different drinks that you could have. And the best is, of course, the beers. So how did I decide which career to pursue? I honestly believe that this career found me. I never dreamt that I would be an actress on the big silver screen or even on TV. But I was given the opportunity to do a commercial in Hong Kong with none other than the amazing Jackie Chan. And then I was offered a job to be an actress. And I thought, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I said yes, and lo and behold, 40 years later, I'm still here. Was there ever a time when you thought about giving up or changing career paths? That's actually a very, very good question. The one time where I was very close to saying maybe I should not do these crazy stunts anymore. And that was when I did a movie called Akam, the Story of a Stunt Woman, where directed by Anne Hui, a movie that I did in Hong Kong together with Sammo Hung. And I had a really horrific injury where I dove off maybe 15 feet, landed head down. My legs hit the top of my head. It went like, and I think everyone who was there that day for the shoot thought I had broken my back. And I did spend some horrible, painful days in being bedridden. And at that time, I think that's the first time when I had so many of my family and friends just turn around and say, you can't do this to yourself. And perhaps that was like a little go, ding, 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 maybe you shouldn't be doing something like that. But did I think I would change my career? And fortunately, no. I thought you have to be sensible, You are first an actress, you're not a stunt person. And to be able to sustain a good career, you have to be smart about what are the things physically that you should do and should not do. What was the moment when you thought, I've made it? Oh gosh, I've made it? I don't think I have ever turned around and said, you did it. Because I believe the best one is still around the corner. And I love what I do. So every project, every yes to whatever I'm doing is a great experience. It's something that I'm sure, and I want to be able to take away something from it. So I hope I never say I've made it, because it sounds like once you've made it, then it's the end. So I will continue to strive. What does success look like to you? Well, I guess success looks different to everyone. It depends on your own definition of what do you mean by being successful? Does that mean, you've made a lot of money? Does it mean you're very famous? Does it mean that you get to do what you want to do? But I think at the end of the day, I don't measure what I've done by how successful it was. It's easier to do that in the general terms, because in the public opinion, there are certain bars, and once you hit those bars, you are considered successful. But the most important is that you've given it your all, and that's what you chose to be. A moment where you felt like a failure? I hope I've had those moments, and I'm sure I've had, because I think without failures, you don't learn. You can't always be at the top. You can't always be, that would be called a flat line. That means that would be dead, right? So it has to be like a heartbeat, up and down, up and down. And it is okay to make mistakes, to fall, but the most important thing is to get up and to try again. What's been the biggest obstacle or setback you've ever had to face in your career? I would say the biggest setback is having a bad injury, because that really stops you in your tracks. You can't do anything. because physically you're just incapacitated. When I did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I had to go for knee surgery. I had a torn ACL. But those are the moments that hits you on the head and go like, you're human, right? You're not a superhero. You need to be able to be sensible and look after yourself so that this doesn't happen again. And I think in a sense, I hope that what is done for me is to make me wiser and smarter and to evaluate rather than go diving into it, which I did in my younger days. What motivates you? Learning, passion, wanting to be better than I am. I feel that when I take on something, it has to be worth my time because it takes me away from people that I love, my family, and it takes me far away from home. What drew you to Wicked? Okay, I think first of all, it was John M. Chu. He was the one who reeled me in. At that point, I had not seen Wicked in the theaters, not in West End, not in Broadway. But immediately when John invited me to be his Madame Morrible, I went to see it, and I learned very quickly why this amazing musical has been around for 2 decades and is such a thriving legacy, and I'm very, very proud to be in it. So thank you, John M. Chu. And before actually I said yes to the thing, I remember John telling me he went back he was having rehearsals with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, and they had heard that he had asked me to be Madame Morrible, and he said, I think Michelle is thinking about it. And they go like, oh no, we have to leave her a message. So the next thing I knew was on my phone, ding! It was John Chu going, hi Michelle, I have 2 lovely guests who wants to say something to you. And there was Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And at that point, I had not met them personally. They were going, Michelle, it's imperative that you come and join us now. I mean, how do you say no to the 2 queens, right? I'm very blessed to be with them, because when you are with them, you feel joy and love. Those 2, for me, are like the yin and yang. So different. Many ways so similar, but the most important, how they complement each other. And they're like little magnets that go zing. And when you're in their zone, you feel that constant good energy, good vibes, happiness. What's the best piece of career advice you've been given? I won't say that was the best piece of advice. I remember being in Hong Kong, my first movie in Hong Kong, and my co-star George Lam, the most amazing actor and singer from Hong Kong, said to me, are you sure you want to do this? It's really tough. Well, thank you, George, because I've discovered it is tough. But if you love what you do, it's okay. And I think another good advice was like, you have to believe in what you're doing, because if you don't believe it, the camera will let everybody know. What is something you still want to check off your professional bucket list? Maybe if I put it out there, it will come true. I want to be able to dance in a musical. I mean, dancing has always been my first love. So now I've sang John M. Chu, dancing next. What advice would you give to anyone wanting to get into acting? Acting is not just a job. Acting is real passion, because the road is rough, the road is endless, and the road is very, very rocky and bumpy. If you don't believe in it, if you don't want it from here, I mean, it could be a hobby. Join the drama club. But if you want to pursue it for real, you have to believe in it. What's the most challenging thing about working in your industry? It's to continue to find challenges, because you don't want to do the same roles. You don't want to be doing the same character through and through again. Finding the most perfect ensemble to work with, finding the best character and different characters to play with is very challenging. What's the most rewarding thing about working in your industry? I think the collaboration, working together with people. Always as you find your people, you have to find your people and you have to work together, because whether it's a movie, whether it's TV series, it's never about one actor, one person. it's about collaboration. How have you seen your industry change since you began your career? Wow, I've definitely seen a lot of changes that were so necessary, and we continue to pursue that path and beat down those doors. My career spanned 40 years, so, and I have seen changes along the way. I've seen now inclusivity, diversity, accepting women for all the different ages, not just because when they're young and beautiful in their 20s and 30s, and then, okay, maybe you should start packing your bags when you're 40s and 50s and 60s, forget about it, right? But it doesn't come without hard work, without determination, without constant, badgering the people who are at the top to make these changes. And we cannot give up on that. But it's good to see that there are, especially coming from a woman, to see that there are women at the top. Because if you don't have women in the position of power, it's very hard to change the things. Who do you credit for helping you get where you are today? Did you ever have a mentor? Oh, I don't think I had one mentor. I continue to look for mentors every day, every project that I'm in, because it's a lesson that you have to keep learning and seeking and searching. I give credit to all the actors, actresses who came before me, especially who looked like me from my part of the world, because they helped me find the opportunities that are now more available, let's put it this way. I'm very grateful for all of them who especially came before me. What is the career highlight that you feel proudest of and why? I think this is a very easy one. The Oscars. Come on. I think for any actor, that is always the dream, to have an Oscar on your mantelpiece. Doesn't mean that I have it now, that I can sit back and go like, yay, now I can go on a cruise. No, I think it's now to how do we continue on this path, and how do we create more opportunities so that more of me, more of us could have a seat at the table. Thank you for watching. I'm Michelle Yeoh. I hope it was as fun for you as it was for me.